Well, good morning. Welcome to Wednesday. It's Wednesday Live Day here at Home Built Workshop. Hope you're all doing awesome. Welcome to the live stream. Where, as you know, we're going to hang out and chat about shop stuff and just hang out together for a while. Thanks for taking some time out of your day to tune in here, trying to get everything situated. What is going on? Mike's here. Mike says, good morning, or morning all. Morning, Mike. How are you this fine Wednesday? And Paul's here too. Paul says, hello all. Hope I can stay here. Up to work. Right on. Right on. Sorry, I was a little bit, just a minute or so late this morning. Had a little bit of a delay. We've had a little bit of a critters have been coming in and causing ruckus, so I had to relocate a critter real quick. Neptunes is here. Neptune says, morning, guys. Morning, Neptunes. What's happening? Happy Wednesday to you. Mike says, best not to ask. Oh no. Hope your day is going well. Alrighty, as we get settled in. I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to be able to make the live today. I am, my daughter's school's going on a field trip, and I'm helping out with that, and they had a little scheduling thing, and almost had me down for helping this morning, but we're good. We're here. Liesel, Cigar Box Guitar, good day to you from the UK. Right on. Good morning to you. Well, I guess it's probably afternoon for you, but happy Wednesday. Paul says, love the end wedge on the acoustic. Is that one piece of wood? Yeah, well, sort of. Let me grab it. I got to take it out of the mold here. So, let's see. I'll show you. I'm right here. I'm not gone. Hang on. Let me undo this thing here real quick, and I'll pop it out. I'm not gone. I'm still here. Still here. I didn't leave you. Make sure I got my orientation correct here before I mix things up. Okay, we're good. So yeah, so on the acoustic, if you saw the video last week, I finished the rim set. Harry Dude's here. What's up? Greetings all. Greetings, Harry Dude. How are you doing this fine Thursday morning for you? Now Liesel says, yes, thank you. Robert's here. Robert says, hello, everyone. Hello, Robert. Yeah, so the acoustic, I got the rim done. Side braces installed. Spanish cedar reverse kerfing installed. End wedge installed. Everything, check, installed. So this end wedge, Paul, it's not, I guess it's two pieces that I glued together. I book matched. It was a little slice of elm, and I liked that sapwood in there, so I resawed a little sliver, jointed it, and then just book matched, glued that together. There is you can't really see it because it came out really nice. In the right light, you can see. I don't know if I can get the light to show up, but there is a seam down the center, where they were just book matched and glued up. I just thought that was a kind of a cool look, and I'm pretty happy with this book match here. This looks like, it almost looks like it's a teensy bit off, but I think it looks awesome. Yeah, really happy with this so far. And that's the Spanish cedar. That smells so good. But yeah, that turned out really well, and I can't wait to get to moving on. Next step is closing the box, like I mentioned in the video, but I haven't been working on the box, as you can tell, because remember our conversation last week, what we were talking about, those little finger planes. I went down a rabbit hole. I'll show you that here in just a second. But yeah, I'm hoping to start notching, cutting the notches today. And over the next couple days, I'm hoping to get this box closed. And yeah, I can't wait. So let me set this guy aside. Make sure I keep my orientation. One thing that I did when I was working on this, I almost mixed up the top and the back when I was radiusing this kerfing. So I really am trying to be triple, quadruple aware of which side is the top and which side's the back. Thankfully now the end wedge, you know, the taper goes toward the top. So as long as I have that glued on correctly, which I have this marked as the top, everything should be fine. But once you have this out of the mold, if you didn't mark this appropriately, it's kind of hard to figure out which side is which. And I almost mixed that up. So let's put that guy back over there. I think that is going to look really cool with this back. Once this thing's all together, man, this is going to look really nice. I have yet to put my label on there. I gotta do that. So that's coming up. But like we were talking, I have these braces are a little bit too sturdy yet. There's not really a whole lot of, there's not enough flex. Like it's really stiff. So I know I need to remove some more material on that, and we were talking about finger planes and that sort of thing for brace carving. And that's what took me down the rabbit hole. Turned into a whole process. Robert says, making good progress and looking good. Thanks, Robert. I'm happy, man. I'm pretty excited. Mike says, oh, that is so nice. Thanks, Mike. Paul says, understand the rabbit hole. You guys want to see the rabbit hole that I went down? Hang on, I got to get a swig of this here coffee. All right, you ready? Check them out. I made a bunch of finger planes. I just finished editing the video yesterday and got it uploaded yesterday evening. That'll be this weekend's video, making these guys. This was so fun. I did a bunch of experimentation and tried a bunch of different angles and different sizes and shapes, and I made the blades, or the irons, I guess, and everything out of, well, this saw blade. So yeah, this was this was super fun. All of them worked great except this one, mainly because this is a 55-degree angle, and I really didn't think that it was gonna work all that great, and it doesn't work so good. So 55-degree angle, not good for a little tiny plane. This is the one that I made mainly in the video. This has a 45-degree angle, and it cuts really good. Those are actual shavings in there. And then I did 35 degrees. This one cuts even better than the 45 degrees. And then this little tiny one, which is my absolute favorite. This is a 30-degree angle, and it cuts amazing. So I'll probably make a couple more of these using somewhere around this 30-degree angle. And I'll probably do one with a, kind of a convexal, so that it's easier to get in and do curved surfaces. But man, this was such a fun project. Cutting down the saw blade, making the irons. I heat treated and tempered all of the irons, and so they're hardened, and yeah, super fun. Man, I could make these things all the time. There's just something fun about it. If you've never made a finger plane, you got to try it. Even if you don't make your own iron. Well, I tested one of these too before I hardened it, and I could get it to make some nice shavings. I just think durability wise it was worth hardening them. But yeah. Oh no, I just dropped one in the trash. Hang on. Before I forget and throw it out. Ah, it fell way to the bottom. Great. I'm just digging through the trash over here. Where'd it go? It's gone. How can it be gone? How can this happen? Hang on, I'm digging through the garbage. Ah! Oh boy. Well, I'm going to have to remember to get that out. I tried to use a magnet and that didn't work. Oh boy. Paul says, makes you want to build an acoustic again. Almost. Well, you know, it could be one of those side projects that you just work on a few minutes here and there. You know, build it for yourself or something. Paul said, nice. Neptune says, I can't wait to see it with finish on. I know. It's like in the video, I wiped it down with some mineral spirits and it kind of, you know, popped the grain some. But yeah, I think when some finish is on there, it's going to look really cool. Liesel says, wow. Dello says, let's try Chladni test. I don't know what that is. Chladni test. What is that? I need to learn. Teach me. Neptune says, those are cool. Dallo says, beautiful works. Thank you, my friend. Lister Guitars. What's up, man? Lister says, when will my guitar be done, Jeff? Which one am I making for you? You're talking about the acoustic? It's got a ways to go. Definitely not, how do we say that? It's definitely not like building a solid body, for sure. So much more work. It's crazy. But we're getting there. Robert said, hand planes look good. Thank you. Mike says, I'm guessing, will there be a video of the rabbit hole? Yes, there will be. It's all edited. It's all uploaded. I just got a few little fine tuning things to do, you know, cover picture and all that stuff. But yeah, these little things are awesome. You know, in the past, I mean, I've got a couple of these, but they're not super small. I mean, they're pretty small, but if you compare it to like the ones that I just made, much smaller. But yeah, these work way better than these. So I think now these guys will just kind of collect some dust. But I can't believe how well this one works. I don't know if we can. I got a scrap brace here I've been playing around with. Let's see if we can make you a shaving. I mean, yeah, I couldn't ask for this to work any better. Let's try that again. How cool is that? I mean, that is awesome. I said it once, I'll say it again. If you've not made a finger plane, you got to try it. It is just so fun. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because, you know, it's really fairly simple, and because it's so small, I don't know what it is, but it is super fun to make. And the wedge, remember we were talking about the wedge angles? I found that for these, at least being wood maybe, right around that 10-degree mark works pretty well for the wedge. I tried some steeper ones and I had a little harder time getting it to really wedge in there. So yeah, I'll cover all that in the video. But Lister says yes, the acoustic. Yeah, the acoustic is coming along. But I got sucked down the rabbit hole, like I said earlier, of making finger planes, because I have the rim done. I've got the top and the back are all braced, and I need to do a little final carving on the braces so that I can close the box. And I wanted to try making some finger planes to use to do that. So yeah, spent the last couple of days making finger planes. So now I can get back to carving braces and get this box closed up. But I can't wait. I can't wait to see it, how it looks and sounds even when it's all done. Lister, what are you working on? What kind of projects you got in the works? Keep trying to make sure I'm following along. Got any big builds going on? Mike says autocorrect. That darn autocorrect, that'll get you every time. It really will. Sam's here. Sam says, thank another channel for showing me showing me the live in the YouTube previews. Right on. YouTube, 0 notifications at its best. Oh boy. Well, I'm glad you got. I'm glad that YouTube told you though. So welcome. Liesel Cigar Box Guitar says, I completed building my first lefty. It's a beauty, but sadly I can only play it upside down. I know the feeling. And I think James does too. That's awesome. I'm glad you built a lefty. Yeah, that's how I feel every time I build a righty, which, we've talked about before as well, is the majority of the market, right, is a right-handed guitar. So when I build a right-handed guitar, which this acoustic is going to be a righty, that's the only way I can play it. I mean, I can't fully play the instrument to really feel how it's going to sound. I have to kind of fumble around with it upside down. Thankfully, I have a friend. I've got several buddies who will try them out for me, and so that's what I'll do. I do most of my setup by the numbers, really, and somewhat by feel, and then I take it to them and say, here, you play it and tell me what it needs. But yeah, that's awesome. Now, is it a lefty cigar box guitar or a standard 6-string? Dallas says it works pretty well now. Wow. I thought, well now. Well, wow. Yeah, I can't believe it. I really can't. From making the irons and everything, like that was like the coolest part. I had to go get the old torch, and this was plenty to get this little small chunk of metal hot enough to where I could plunge it in some vegetable oil to harden it. And it worked amazing. Robert says, one of the brass finger planes I have has a curved edge, making it kind of like a scrub plane, and for bulk removal on a small scale anyway, works well. Oh yeah, where the blade has a curve at the end. Yeah. Sam says, are you making a banjo next? I have thought about making a banjo for years. And maybe one day, maybe I'll get to it, because I do kind of want to make one. It would probably be one of those deals where, I just kind of build it for me, and I have a banjo. It's not a super high end one or anything. Again, because I'm a lefty, and this is one of the only left-handed banjos I've ever seen come up for sale, local on like a marketplace kind of thing. And I bought it years ago and learned a little bit on it, and I haven't done much with it since. But I think it'd be pretty cool to build a banjo. I really do. Do I want to make a ton of banjos? Probably not, but hey, you never know. Alistair says, several customs about 6 months out. built a new paint booth. I saw that. Yeah, that looks like it's going to work out awesome. Yeah, that's super cool. And yeah, I'd like to let everybody know. Head on over, check out Lister Guitars. We had the pleasure of meeting up and hanging out a little bit at the guitar show up in Denver this past spring, March. Was it March or April? March, I think it was. And it was really awesome and to see the work. And he had a lefty. It was so cool. So cool. Yeah, so go check out Lister Guitars. Robert says, likes, please. Yeah, hit that thumbs up button. Thanks, Robert. Hit that thumbs up button. Tell YouTube this is like the funnest casual hangout ever. Paul says, I'm working on a guitar for the 2023 GGBO. The guy doing the demo for me has no idea that I'm going to gift it to him. He's a great guy, plays at his church. Oh, dude, that's so cool. Oh, that's going to be awesome. Yeah, so cool. Liesel's Cigar Box Guitar says, I was shocked how few lefties were out there. Yep. Are you left-handed? You are. No, you're right-handed because you said you play it upside down. Yes, there's the left-handed guitar crowd is like minuscule compared to right-handed. Yeah, there's not that many, unfortunately, because I'm partial to lefties. Liesel says, yes, it's a three-string electric cigar box guitar. Nice, that's awesome. Robert says, audio is working, but video is frozen. Did a reload and working on video now. Oh, good. Mike says, so, I noticed that you were making the acoustic box with a sanding dish. When you attach the top or bottom, doesn't that tighten up the top, bottom, so it doesn't flex much? Let me make sure I'm understanding that question. Tighten up the top and bottom. So, yes, it does, is the short answer. When you glue, let's just see here. You know, of course, right now, you could grab this and flex it. Well, not very much. I might need to take some off of this too. You know, these braces will flex. And once you glue this on, it does kind of lock in that, you know, that edge around there. So it does flex even less. That's why I believe it's important to have some flex in there now, because as you said, once you glue this on there, it's going to lock everything in place and kind of tighten it up. So you want to make sure you have enough flex in there right now. And this one I almost think needs a little more. I might have to take a little off of these braces too, to kind of loosen it up. You know, there's a fine line though between, you know, too stiff. You know, basically when you're playing it, you know, those plates, at least the top anyway, you know, it's resonating, and it's like an air pump pumping that air out of that sound hole. So if it's totally rigid and doesn't move, my understanding is, you know, there's a chance that you'll get less projection. I may have that mixed up a little bit, but something along those lines. So you want to have some flex in there, because it is going to get locked down when you glue the sides, when you close the box. So that's why I want to carve. That's why I want to take a little more material off of these braces, because especially off of the top, I want this to have just a little bit more flex. I think what I'm going to do is probably scallop just a little bit right in here. And I'll do just a light scallop, maybe a little smaller scallop on these upper portions of the X brace, and a little bit larger scallop down there, just to free up the top a little bit, because it's pretty sturdy right now. And I intentionally left these taller than I knew they needed to be, because I wanted to try a little bit more of that tuning, you know, where you're tap tuning, where you're and flexing. So I don't claim to be an expert on that, but you don't become an expert unless you try stuff, right? So Mike, I hope that maybe answers your question a little bit. You know, I don't know, I can't explain all of the tiny intricacies. How's that for a word? To the whole process, but yes, it does lock it down so it flexes even less. Robert says they have a banjo museum in downtown Oklahoma City. Oh man, that's cool. I've been to Oklahoma City once, quite a while ago. We when I was playing in the original band, we played a show there, and it was not long after. Was it after or before? I was trying to think of that tornado thing that came through. When was that? I don't remember. I don't know. This was 2008 or something like that. So quite a long time ago, 15 years ago. I wish I'd have known that. I'd have checked out the banjo museum. Sam says, "Have you ever played a guitar?" I have not. But they're cool though. Talk about 80s retro synth pop music. Neptunes, right on. He's put up a link there for Lister guitars. Wait, I don't know. I don't think that's Neptunes. I don't think that's the right link, buddy, because that's a UK address. Liesel says, "I'm right-handed. Yeah, I grew up in a lefty family. Mom, dad, and brother are all left-handed." Wow. My dad is left-handed, and I'm left-handed, and so far, we're the only lefties that I'm aware of. Harry Dude says, "One of my most regular customers is a lefty. I learn a new upside-down chord each time I do a job for him." That's awesome. See? I'm going to double check that link, Neptunes. Let's see. Maybe it is. I don't. Should be. I didn't realize there was 2 Lister guitars. Yeah, all I'm finding. Lister, do you have an actual website, or do you have or do you just run your Facebook page? I want to make sure we're putting up the right information here. ListerGuitars.com is what it should be. I found it off the Facebook page. Oh, it says it can't be reached. What's up with that? Is your site not operating? I just don't want to put out incorrect information. Anyway, Robert says the Banjo Museum has only been there maybe 6 or 7 years. Oh, darn. It wasn't there when I was there then. Mike says, "Hard to write the question, so no need to respond. It seemed to me that by forcing a bend in the top might lock it down too much. Clearly, the balance of the bracing might govern the flexibility." You nailed it right there. Yes, you worded that. You worded that perfectly. So, it's a balance. Man, well said. I couldn't have said that better myself because I tried. Yeah, so you want to find that balance, right, of where the bracing is strong enough to hold the guitar into shape, but also be flexible enough to allow it to move like it needs to. It's a balance. And the challenge for me is that I don't yet know exactly where that balance is. So Yeah, but I do know that this top is right now too stiff, so I need to remove some material. Enter the finger plane. And chisels and sandpaper. I'll use all kinds of stuff. So, Mike, you said it. You said it awesome. You are absolutely wrong, spot on. It's a balance between stiffness and flexibility. Neptunes has got a new link. There you go. James says, yes, there's a Lister Guitars in the UK and me in the US. Plus, they both have the same first name. I never realized that. But yeah, Neptunes has got the link. He's put the link up there. Well, I'm pointing to it on my screen, but it's probably not on yours. But you'll have the link there, so go check it out. Go check it out. Now, here's the question for you: Are you related to the Lister Guitars in the UK? That'd be kind of wild. Is there any relation there? Robert said the museum is called American Banjo Museum and opened in 2009. Yeah, so that was probably after we were there. I'm pretty sure it was 2008 when we went through there. We did all kinds of stuff around that time around that time. Oklahoma City and Phoenix and Arizona, and we played in Kansas and Wyoming, like the lower. So would that be lower mid southwest? Lister says just Facebook and Instagram. Site in progress. Right on. Okay, that makes sense. Mike says, yeah, don't talk to me about names. My mom wasn't very original. Neptunes. LOL, Mike. That's okay, Mike. No worries. It's all good. Robert said you'll just have to make a trip and check it out. You know, I it's not that far of a drive, really. I don't know what it was, 12 hours, 8 hours. And yeah, that'd be kind of cool. The Banjo Museum. We're going to drive all the way there to check out the Banjo Museum. Now I just want to, like, plane this thing down. This one I got to readjust, I guess. Yeah. That would be cool. So yeah, pretty happy, like I said, having these things done. I can get back to closing the box on the acoustic. And I'm really happy with the edit too for the videos for these. I'm pretty excited to put that out there for you guys to check out. And even the last video where I was putting the end wedge and stuff in, I really like the way the edit turned out. Been trying to up my editing a little bit and make things flow better. Sam says, did you use the old chisel blade? I did not. I made my own. Yeah, knocking everything down. I took this old circular saw blade and I used a cutoff disc on the angle grinder and cut it into strips. You know, and then I did a bunch of sanding on the belt grinder to get everything squared up. And then then I heat treated the blades, ran them through 2 tempering cycles in the oven, sharpened them up, and yeah, made my own irons. And they work awesome. I don't think this is heavy enough. I thought about making a larger plane. I don't think this metal is heavy enough to make maybe a larger plane, but for these small ones, it works awesome. Like these are shave. I can get these shaving sharp. Like I have no hair there on my arm because that's how I test it. But yeah, I did not use the old chisel blade. Mike says we could have a convention of Mike Johnsons. Do you know others? Do you know other Mike Johnsons? because as far as I'm concerned, there's only one. There's only one Mike Johnson, and that's you. Robert says, my machine must be having some connection issues today. Lost feed entirely and reload and you're back again. Interesting. You know, we had some pretty crazy thunderstorms. Well, it's been several days now. I think it was probably over the weekend. And for a couple days after that, it seemed like our internet in the house was acting all kinds of crazy. It would go out and it would come back on, it would go out and come back on. Then it would run really slow. It seems like it took, I don't know if something got hit by lightning, because we did have some pretty crazy lightning. But it took them a couple days to kind of get things ironed back out, whatever was going on. I don't know. James says, if there's any relation to the UK Lister guitars, then I haven't gotten my royalty checks yet. Well, darn it. You're gonna have to contact them and be like, what's going on here? Because I've been waiting. Robert asks, when you heat treated and tempered the plain blades, did you use oil or water to quench? I used vegetable oil. So I just took a little soup can, preheated the oil a little bit to make sure it was somewhere around 130 degrees. That way it wasn't cold. I heated this up to the point where a magnet wouldn't stick to it, and then quenched it in the oil, let it cool down, and then I put it in the oven at 400 degrees for 1 hour, took them out, let them cool to room temperature, put them back in the oven for another 1 hour at 400 degrees, and then from there they had that nice straw color that you're supposed to have, and skated a file across it. It worked out really well. This one's, I got just a little bit more flattening to do. Didn't really have a whole lot of warping. There was one or two. This one's got just a teensy bit. Maybe the one that I dropped in the trash, I think, was about similar. But yeah, nothing major. I was able to flatten them out in no time, and overall it worked awesome. First time I've ever done that, heat treated metal, and yeah, definitely gonna do that some more. Need to make like some knives and stuff now. Lister Guitars says, what is your plan for the acoustic neck design? I say that like I don't have a plan, but I do have a plan. For the design, I'm planning to make this out of maple, the neck. I know a lot of guys tend to use something like a mahogany, and I've talked about this in these lives before. I like the continuity of materials, right? So the back and the sides, back and sides are both ambrosia maple. So I'm gonna make the neck out of maple. I'm gonna do a scarf joint headstock. 15 degree, 13 degree, somewhere around there. Haven't quite decided exactly yet. Kind of researching pros and cons of all the different angles. I think it's 13 degree, 15. Anyway, I'm gonna do scarf joint neck. I'm going to do, it's gonna be one piece, the whole neck's one piece, scarf joint, and I'm gonna do a stacked heel where you basically glue up the blocks, and then those get carved away into your heel. That's the plan. Because mainly, I don't have any material. I don't have any material that's thick enough, square, to do a one-piece heel. So I believe I'm just gonna do a stacked heel, and yeah. Of course, that may change as I'm looking at some of the maple that I have over there, like you guys can see it. I almost could glue it up with something laminated in the middle to make it wide enough, but now I think I'm going to stick with my original plan. One piece, I think it's flat sawn. There's a quarter sawn. I'll have to double check that. Stacked heel, scarf joint. two-way truss rod, 2 carbon fiber reinforcing rods. Totally unnecessary, I think, but yeah. I use Goto tuners. I've got a head plate, very similar. The head plate is going to be basically like this. I've already got that made up. Actually, I could grab that and show you. Don't go anywhere. It's just right here. I'm not leaving you. So here's the head plate. That'll get glued on the top. Again, brings in some of that continuity of the elm rosette, the elm end wedge. I'm going to make the heel cap from something like this, maybe even an offcut. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm trying to keep, all those accent pieces. I like to try to use the same kind of wood. It just, I don't know. To me, it's a continuity thing. I keep saying continuity, but I really think, to me, that's one thing that I like in this sort of process. But yeah, that's the plan. 24.9 inch scale length, which is, now here's something I learned. I'm getting sidetracked here, so I'm trying to answer James's question. But so I guess technically I have called this an OM guitar. But I think technically this is a triple O-ish. I believe, from my understanding, an OM is a 25.4 inch scale length, and a triple O is a 24.9, but the body is basically the same. So I guess sort of I'm building an OM, but it's got the shorter scale length. So from what I'm finding, that makes it a triple O. So I need to call it a triple O instead of an OM. The body's an OM shape. It's just, apparently the only difference is the scale length. Longer scale length is an OM. Shorter scale length is a triple O. Correct me on that, because I'm trying to understand that. If I've got that mixed up, let me know. Alrighty, let's see here. So James, that's kind of my plan for the neck shape. Probably, mine are typically, I guess, what you might call a shallow C. It's not super C, but it's shallower. I don't use a specific template when I'm shaping the necks. Only if I'm doing a request, or somebody's asked for a certain thing. Usually I just go by feel and what, basically the shape that I like. And like I said, unless something else is requested. And I pretty much, all I can think of is a shallow C to call it, but I never really tried to name it something. Mike says, 3 in the university dorm, mixed up male. 3 in my job. What? One that doesn't pay his bills really frosts me. Oh, it does help. Oh, 3 in the dorm, mixed up male. 3 in the job. 1 doesn't pay his bills. Those darn Mike Johnsons. It does help make me harder to find, which is nice. It took me a second to understand that, but I got you. Sam says, we don't get U.S. storms in the UK much. Maybe tail ends, but not the main parts. Yeah, apparently. Oh, excuse me. You guys remember when I was feeling kind of sick several weeks ago? There's still a little something lingering. I mean, I don't feel bad or anything, but just, I don't know. It's weird. Let's see. Apparently the storms that we had were some result of some of the storms that came through the west, like the California, that whole western coastline. Apparently that was just like some remnants or something that made it through. I don't know. Robert says, sweet, glad the plane blades worked out well. Man, that was so fun. I got to do more with that sort of thing. I still got over half this blade left, this saw blade, and I've got 1 or 2 more at least. So I need to I need to make some stuff out of those things. I want to make like a, well, maybe I should make a new marking knife. The last one I made was out of a plane blade, no, a jointer blade. Yeah, it didn't work out. I mean, it worked. The knife works great, but I think this would make it much better. Henry's here. Henry says, turned a rolling pin for my partner's birthday. I'd like to add a maker's mark to one of the ends. Any ideas for an easy branding iron or something? Or should I look online? Well, Henry, let's see. Could you use a soldering iron and just burn it in there? You know, just draw it in, kind of a wood burning type deal. Just use a soldering iron. Put a, you know, a scrap tip on there or something. That's one idea. I guess you could, you know, you could always, if you have access to the CNC or something, you know, machine something out of a piece of brass. You know, the ones that I have, you know, this is my Haley Guitars brand. It's just made out of a piece of brass. You know, it's threads on the back, so you can put a handle on there. You can heat it up with a torch. I don't know if you want to go that route or not. But you might just burn it in with a soldering iron. You know, just freehand it. Laser it, if you can get the laser high enough. I'm not sure what all equipment you have access to, but just a couple ideas off the top of my head. Sam said, someone on YouTube made his own wooden mailbox. Looked cool. I've thought about that, making a mailbox. Except if I did that, we have there's several mailboxes of ours in a row, and I think if I built like some snazzy one, it would look weird in the row of mailboxes. So I might do that later when I have maybe our own mailbox. Of course, the only thing that bugs me, or that worries me, is I'd make something cool and somebody'd come and smash it. Liesel Cigar Box Guitar says, do you have a jig for scarf joint cutting? I do not. Doesn't mean I won't make one, but at the moment I have not. All of my electric necks are one piece, you know, kind of fender style, so I don't typically do a scarf joint. The acoustic that I built already, that one did not have a scarf joint. That was cut out of a wider piece, so I've not tooled up to do scarf joints. Like I said, that doesn't mean I won't. At this moment, I don't have a scarf joint jig. I think I'll probably freehand this one, you know, on the bandsaw. Just make the cut. Then of course you got to square everything up, you know, and all that. But I think that's the route that I'll take this time around. We'll see how it goes though. Paul says, I have a beautiful quilted maple neck blank if you're interested. I don't know. Maybe. I'm trying to think of how that would look. Quilted maple with the ambrosia. I've got some quilted maple. I don't know. Let me think about that. Robert says, do you have some quarter sawn maple for the neck? I got to check that out and see what the maple is that I have. I think it might be flat sawn. So I don't know if I would want to cut it and glue it back up. I got to ponder that a little bit. Or I could just always go and get a piece of quarter sawn. I got to think on that one. I can't really see. I can see the boards sitting over there, but I can't see the grain from here. Mike says, fretboard material. I believe I'm going to use rosewood for the fretboard and for the bridge. That's my plan at the moment. I got to go get some of that too. I don't have any more rosewood. Yeah, I gotta stock up. Robert says, yeah, keeping the accents made of the same material ties everything together, I believe. Yeah, and that's what I like. You know, I like that, like I said, continuity. The body's maple. I want the neck to be maple. If the accents are elm, which is what I'm using, I want all of the accents to be elm. I'm even doing elm binding. So elm rosette with maple purfling. I'm doing elm binding with maple purfling. Got the elm end wedge, the elm heel cap, the elm head plate. So yeah, I think that, just to keeps everything together. Hey, look who's here! Gina's here. Gina says hi. Almost missed it. Hey, what's going on? How are you doing this fine Wednesday? Thanks for tuning in. Harry Dude says hi, Gina. Sam says UK don't have mailboxes. We have mail slots, letter boxes in our front doors. The mail gets pushed right into the entrance hallway. I think that, in a lot of times, I think that would be kind of cool. Of course, I can see where that wouldn't work in all cases, maybe because we live on, we have a kind of a longer driveway. So to get up to the house, it's, the mailman would have to, go way up out of the way. But maybe yours do that. I don't know. But that'd be kind of nice. Just a little mail, whoop, and there's your mail laying on the floor. Sam says mods rule. Mike says, take care all. Got to go meet with a bunch of mics. Tell that other one that he better pay his bills because you're tired of hearing from him. Don't let him get away with that, Mike. Right on, man, though. Hey, have a good one. Say hi to all the mics for us. Oh, you should get all the mics to tune in. That'd be funny. We had like 10 Mike Johnsons on here. Neptune says, hi, Gina. It's been a while. Neptune says, thanks, Sam. Yeah, thanks, Sam. Yeah, we don't often, need a whole lot of moderation, but it's awesome that they're here to help us out. Like Neptune's always just throwing up the links. And now Gina's here. Thankfully, we don't, like I said, we don't have to take advantage of or we don't have to deal with a bunch of unruly people most of the time. But it is awesome to be able to just poof, pop a link up there or share something. It's awesome. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. Sam says UK mail people deliver to tower blocks. Gotcha. Robert says, yeah, there's a guy here in Oklahoma that got tired of people destroying his mailbox, so he built one out of 3/8 steel and made it look like wood. The last attempt to trash his box resulted in a broken bat. That's awesome. Yeah. Super cool. That's the way to do it. My brother did something similar once upon a time. Quite a few years ago, my mom, her mailbox was always getting busted up. So I remember my brother welded up something out of pretty heavy duty stuff. And it seems as though the trouble moved on, and I don't think he ever got it actually installed. But he was building it for the same sort of thing, to where when you hit it, it's not going to give like your little tin box. Gina says, busy making maps at work. Hi, Harry and Neptune. Sam, kapow. Dallas says, why do people destroy the mailboxes? I don't know. I guess, it happens in, well, I shouldn't say always. It seems like maybe the more rural type areas, I don't know, kids get bored or something and just go smash mailboxes. I don't know. Nicholas is here. Nicholas says, hi all. How's it going, Nicholas? Nicholas says, wanted to ask where you got the paper for the sanding dishes and what grit you used. Okay. Not really insider trick, because I mentioned it on the videos before. So, I don't know if I can lift this up or not. This is an opportunity for those. So Nicholas is talking about this 24-inch sticky back. This is PSA sticky back sandpaper. 24-inch disc of it. We're using a 6-inch disc or a 5-inch disc on our random orbit sander or some sort of a sander. This is the same thing, except it's 24 inches in diameter. If you go to the luthier supply places, any place that sells luthier supplies, most likely will sell these things, again, with the luthier tax and, charge a fair bit of money for them. here's the trick. Don't buy those. Because if you go to a more type, like a more of an abrasive supplier, you know, someone that sells lots of different sandpapers and abrasives, you can buy sanding discs for a floor sander. That's what this is. This is for a floor sander. I ordered these from a company called Super Grit. They're out of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania area. So number one, they're from Pennsylvania, which is pretty cool because I'm from Pennsylvania. So I like that. But really, they sell tons of abrasives, and I really order most of my abrasives from them when I can. As long as they have what I need, I order from them. I'm not sponsored by them. I have no affiliation with them or anything, but I think they're a great company. They have tons and tons of products for sanding, grinding, cutting, all that sort of thing. These are for a floor sander, so you don't have to order from them. But you know, if you wherever you're looking around in your searches, look for floor sanding discs, because it's way cheaper to do that than to order the radius dish sandpapers that the suppliers sell. And I'm not bashing the suppliers or anything. I'm just saying that you can get it a lot cheaper. And that's where I get them from. I get them from Super Grit. Again, not sponsored, affiliated, or anything. I get no kickback whatsoever. That's just a company that I use, that I trust, I believe in. And a lot of times, I don't know if it depends on the order size, right? But if you order several things, I've always gotten like an extra something to try, like a sample of something. You know, whether it's a little sanding pads or something like that. It always seems like they throw in a little something in there. Kind of like when you order from Sweetwater and they throw in the candy. Again, I don't know if that might be based on order size, but it's kind of cool. You get a little extra sample thing. 24-inch sanding discs for a floor sander. There you go. I suppose you could get, you know, larger things and cut them down, but that's what I use. Oh, and this is 80 grit. You asked about the grit. This is 80. I've seen a lot of places selling 40, 60 grit. I went with 80 grit because I wanted to be a little bit conservative on my sanding. I'm okay if it takes a little bit extra time, but I wanted it to be a little slower, maybe, if that makes sense. 24-inch sanding disc. Look at that sucker. Can you imagine running that sander? I've never run a 24-inch floor sander, but that's a beast. So Nicholas, there you go. Hope that helps. Neptune says, holy cow, that's big. Yeah, 24-inch disc. I've got a couple new ones around here. I don't know where I've put them. I'd show you one that's not stuck on there, but... Nicholas says, awesome, thank you. I remembered it was for floor polishing, but not the company. Oh, and there's Neptune. See? With the link to Super Grit. Bam! Thanks, Neptunes. Yeah, that's why we need your help. Thank you. Yeah, Super Grit. Super cool place. Every time I've ordered, it seems like their shipping, their turnaround time is quite quick. It's not one of those where you have to wait a week or two. I've had it usually in, 2-3 days sometimes, which is pretty awesome. Sometimes, I will give you a heads up, sometimes, and they have since done some improvements on their website, but sometimes it is a little tricky to locate what you're looking for. It used to be way worse. It's much better now, but still, to me, it's worth, I'll spend the time, search around on there, find what I need, and, and just order from them, which really, I'm not getting down on a couple things. I might need to order some stuff from them before long. Lister Guitar says, what up-and-coming projects do you have in the works? That's a good question. So, of course, I mentioned these little planes. That was the one that I just finished up on these yesterday. So that video is coming out this weekend of making these. Then I'm hoping to get the box closed on this acoustic. I'm hoping that's the next one. Then after that, I'm working on doing some improvements to, I hesitate to call it the home studio, but the computer, where I do all the editing and voiceovers and stuff. My speakers are going out, so I've got a set of studio monitors coming. I don't really have anywhere to put those studio monitors, so I need to build some floating shelves, some little small floating shelves that I can put these studio monitors on. That'll probably be the next project that I need to do to get that done, and then I'll probably get back on the acoustic. I want to try to get this acoustic to where I can spray the finish on before it gets cold later this fall. That way, it can be on there and curing, so I can get it polished out. But right now, that's kind of the plan at the moment. I need to get to building some solid bodies, but I probably will get this. I want to get this acoustic together first. I got a bass project that I've been talking about for years. I got to get to that again, probably after the acoustic. And then, who knows? I wasn't originally planning to make these, but this was a project that just kind of popped up that I just decided to take on. So there's probably going to be a few random things in here and there. But right now, it's the acoustic. Like I said, I got to get to that. I got to do these floating shelves. And then we'll just kind of see what needs to work its way in. But I'm mainly trying to focus on getting this acoustic done while working in a few other things here and there. Hope that answers the question kind of in a long-winded, roundabout way. Sam says, on the internet there are plans for building a log burner stove hot tub for off-grid luxury. I guess a homemade air pump could be added for water jet effects. I have seen some of those wood-fired hot tubs. It's kind of cool. Dallas says, I do understand, Robert. Fortunately, we don't have mailboxes, so instead, some kids hit the doorbell and run away. Can't say I've never done that. Ring the bell, jump into the bushes. Oh boy. Harry Dude says, someone needs to make a mailbox with a sensor in it, like a car bumper for an airbag. Mailbox gets hit hard, explodes a dye bomb like in a paintball game. That would be funny. Robert says, it's true, but it would be better if the suppliers for guitar builders did not gouge the customers. Yes. Agreed. And that's, I think everybody's aware that a lot of these tools that are sold as luthier tools, right? Specialty tools are repurposed from other things or slightly modified version of something else, right? I mean, that's not a secret. I mean, that's how we come up with this stuff, right? I always try to search for, especially stuff like this. I'm like, I'm looking, when I first built my radius dishes and I was looking to get this sandpaper, I started looking into this and I'm like, okay, they're charging whatever they're charging for these radius dish sandpapers. I'm like, they came from somewhere else. So I just did a little searching on my own and found, and found these 24-inch sanding machines, that take 24-inch discs. I'm like, perfect. So I'm sure that that's what they did. They just ordered in a stock of them, and added their markup. That's kind of how business works, I guess. But yeah, that's I always try to find the way around and save a little bit of money. And if I can help you guys save a little bit of money too, I definitely want to do that. Nicholas says, they are big machines, but never knew they used sanding discs before you. the floor sanding things, yeah. I've never run one, but yeah, you got to be to change them out, just like your little random orbit sander. Neptune says, it helps having dual monitors. I love having dual monitors. Nicholas says, coming up needing those discs soon in my build. Right on. Well, hope you at least check out Super Grit. Again, not sponsored, but I really like them. Lister says, Luthier's Mercantile is going out of business, so if any of you are looking for supplies, they're discounting everything. Sad, they're closing the doors. Yes, I was going to bring that up. That was the next topic on my mind, since we were talking about supplies. So thank you, James, for bringing that up. Yeah, I heard that about a week ago in a post online somewhere. Someone said that LMI was closing, and I don't take too many posts online seriously, so I did go to their site, and sure enough, it is clearly listed on their site that LMI is sadly closing down. I don't know any details on that, but yeah, it's sad, I guess. I know a lot of people, including myself, have ordered supplies and things from LMI. So I hate it when a company that I know a lot of us in that industry use. Yeah, it stinks. But I guess I wish everybody at LMI the best. From what I read, it sounds like they're retiring, and for whatever reason, someone is not taking it over, or they didn't want someone to take it over. I don't know, but I wish them the best. In the retirement and all that. I did hear that they're selling everything. I need to look into that a little bit more, because it'd be kind of cool, to be able to pick up some of their machinery and stuff. I heard that they're selling all that stuff. I have been looking at their website several times over the last few days, trying to think of what I might need to stock up on. I can't find anything. I don't know why. So if you guys have any suggestions as something good to stock up on, let me know. I haven't found anything on there that I absolutely need. I think I've already built or bought everything that I feel like I need. I don't know. But yeah, I feel kind of bad that they're closing down. They've got a lot of cool tools, a lot of cool jigs, a lot of great supplies and things. So yeah, now's the time. I don't know when this fall, but if anybody starts to hear anything about equipment or anything like that, machinery, I wouldn't be against trying to get some stuff, even though I don't have anywhere to put it yet. Paul says that sucks about LMI. I know. Paul also says, you doing the floating shelves, making your own supports for them, or are you buying the pre-made hardware? I'm going to make my own. That's the plan. What I am, I'll see if I can show you briefly. I've done some already in this style. I think I'm going to do it again. Basically, let's just pretend that this is your shelf. Basically, what you do is you drill holes right through the back, and you glue in. You drill holes through the back, then you cut a strip off. That becomes your back plate. Then you glue dowels into those holes. Then you screw this little strip onto the wall, and then your shelf slides onto the dowels. So kind of like making your own hardware, but it's all going to be wood. I think that's what I'm going to do for these. Actually, I might even use some of this wood. Not this particular piece, but some nice thick. What's that? That's got to be 8/4, 9/4. That looks over 2 inches to me. No, it's right at 2 inches. Yeah, so I might do it out of some of this maple. Big chunky stuff. I've got quite a bit. But yeah, I'm going to be doing that. So I'm probably going to make 4. They're just going to be small. I'll make 2 that'll hold the speakers, and then I'll probably make another set up above that I can just use for random storage. Robert says there may be some tools that could be used to help with guitar building at a site called Micromart. They have tools for model builders. Their prices for most of their hand-type tools are not bad. Micromart. I'm going to have to check out Micromart. Thanks, Robert. I love suggestions like that. There's Neptune's throwing up the link to LMI. Yeah, guys, buy what you need. If there's something that you regularly use from them, now's the time to order it up. Paul says their acoustic neck routing jig is awesome. I'll have to look at that. I don't think I really saw that. Dallo says, have a good day, everyone, and wish me finish the soundboard till next week. Right on, Dallo. Get after that soundboard. You got this. You can do it. Paul says, gotta go. Have a great week. Neptune says, you too, Paul. Right on, Paul. Well, have a good one, man. Sam says, you could get lots of replacement blades for various machinery before they shut completely. I might have to look at, I got to spend some more time on there. I'm sure they have stuff like that that I could use. Maybe I just need to order like some purfling and, binding and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. I like to stock up on things, but I don't want to just randomly order a bunch of stuff that's going to sit. That's the problem. Like you could buy a bunch of sides and backs and stuff like that, but I don't know. We'll see. I may or may not order some stuff from them, but yeah, I'm just kind of bummed that they're closing. Not that I have any sort of attachment to them, but it's just a known, a well-known company in that industry, and it's just kind of stinks to see it go away. There's the link, Micromark. Right on. Well, guys, again, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button. Tell the tubes that this is like the coolest hangout about workshop stuff ever. Robert says their wood prices for the guitar tops are still a bit high in price. That's what I thought. I felt more like that was the same, the prices, I didn't see much difference. And I imagine, they're going to slowly start increasing, the discounts. Unfortunately, by then, all the good stuff will be gone probably. But yeah, I felt the same way. They weren't the cheapest place, I don't think, anyway. But they were a reliable source for a lot of that stuff. Sam says tap and die sets are great. I love my tap and die set. It's I don't know, 20 plus years old, and I use it fairly often. It's awesome. A good tap and die set is important to have. So anyway, well guys, I'm thinking it's about time to wrap this up. I gotta get to scheduling that video so you guys can watch it this weekend of making these little guys, little finger planes. And when you watch it, let me know in the comments of the video, like how you feel what you think of the edit, because I'm pretty happy with that. I don't a lot of times go, wow, I really like this. I try to, but yeah, I want to hear from you when you see the video. So I got to get that scheduled, and then I got to get to working on closing this box. Start on that. Start cutting notches today. So anyway, guys, thank you. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, there we go. There's some more thumbs up. There, I saw it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sam says, thanks for the fantastic stream today. And thanks, mods, for your amazing time today. Yes, thank you, guys. Robert says, everyone stay safe and healthy. Take care. Our Wagner says, thanks. Have a great week. Right on. Liesel says, have a fab week, folks. Sam, be safe, everyone. Nicholas, have a good week. Thank you all for an amazing time. I look forward to these every week. And as I said, every week. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Here, the same channel, same place. I don't know. I messed that all up. Right on, guys. Thanks a lot. I hope you all have an amazing week. Stay safe. Stay well. Get on your shops. Build some cool things. Build some instruments. Build some shelves. Build some whatever it is. Get out there. Build it. Have some fun. Be safe. We'll see you next time. Hit the button. This thing is so touchy.